I'm Elisa and welcome to Polymer Clay TV. Today I have a fun and easy project which is great to do with kids because they will love this. I used to sell at art shows and festivals and medieval fairs and things like that, and these were one of my most popular items. They're called hair twists and they're very easy to make, but you know, you want to add your own little touch to it. So I thought, well, adding some texture would really give it a nice little touch that would stand out from like some of the other ones that you might have seen or see at these little festivals. Mostly people just do some plain hair twists and then they'll add a little powdered pigments to it, and that's it. Maybe add a little crystal or something dangling at the bottom. But I've never seen anybody add texture to it, and I thought, well, how fun would that be to add a little texture to it? So that's what we're going to do today. The kids will love these, and I will show some pictures of how it actually looks hanging in the hair because it's adorable. Even as an adult, I enjoy wearing them. It's just a little fun thing to do for your hair. So let's get started. What I'm playing with today are the graduated circle cutters here, or circle rods. Now the thing with these, you can either impart texture or you can cut with them. The only thing is you have to have a knitting needle to go down in there and poke it out. So they're not really the best thing for cutting and wanting to save the piece that you cut, because when you poke it out it's going to get distorted. But if you want to just cut a hole, they're fabulous for just doing that. So, but in this case we're not using it for that. We're using it for texture, and we're using it to wrap around as well. So I'm also going to be using these metal tools just to do some texture. And I have some powdered pigments here. These are from Jacquard and they're called Pearl-X powders, but you can use any. It doesn't matter what brand. You can use ink. I have a whole bunch of pigment ink which I'm going to play with. So the first thing you have to do is start by conditioning your clay, and then you want to roll it out into a snake like so. So it's freezing in my studio. I mean, freezing. I know I shouldn't be complaining, and I guess this isn't really a complaint. This is just letting you know that it's so cold in here. The clay might be a little crackier than normal, you know. But so you want to just start by rolling out a snake, and if you have an extruder, you can certainly extrude it. That would be really fun and easy too. You know, the extruder makes it easy. But so you want to either, depending on what size you want to make, you know, obviously the smaller you use, the smaller your hair twist will be, and you know, you won't be able to put as much hair into it. So it's up to you. I mean, if you have someone that has very thin hair, you want to use a smaller one. But I'm going to use this one because the other ones are already occupied. So anyways, I just start by wrapping it around a little, like so, and holding it, and then just twisting it. And what you want to do is you want to try to get it to hold tight onto your aluminum rod here, because you are going to bake this right on the rod. And the awesome thing about the rods is they can go in the oven. Okay, so that's it. That's as simple as it is to make a hair twist. Now there are options that you can do at the end of it to even make it cuter. And what I would do is I pull back up and twist, and when I cut it off here, let me get my blade. I've now created a loop at the bottom where I can take a jump ring and then add a little crystal or dangle a charm, whatever it is that I want to do. And so at this point here, you want to make your piece as seamless as possible. So you would do that with your finger and kind of just working it on there. And again, when you're done, you want to make sure this is kind of, it doesn't have to be super, super tight. You just want to make sure that it's going to stay where you put it, you know, when you go to put it in the oven. So that's all there is to it. This little dangle part will be where you can hang something from it, but you don't have to put the dangle part. This is how it would look just on its own without having a dangle at the bottom. So either way, it's your total preference for you. The kids do like to have something dangled at the bottom. Ooh, I just broke it. See? The clay, with it being so cold, ooh, the clay does not want to condition well today. So you might have to play with that. Obviously, if you're in a cold climate, you got to make sure your clay is really conditioned. I can't get my studio to warm up today, so I got to deal with it. So that's that. So let's talk a little bit about texture now. So I had this little rod, and I thought, well, that would be cute to just texture it. And it kind of gives it like a little tentacle look too, you know, like on an octopus. And all you got to do is hold it and go around and do this. Now, you can add your texture certainly before you put it on the rod. That's always an option. Or you can do it like this on the rod. You know, depending on how much pressure you need to. With something like the swirl, I mean with this, just like the dots, that's easy enough to do while you're on the rod, while it's still on the rod. Let's do another one using the metal tools. And here's this piece of clay. Now this I would probably do before I put it onto the rod, because it's easier that way. I like to make sure that my ends are kind of pointy or little, you know, I want them to look nice and finished. I don't want like a raggedy end. So I'll run that in between my fingers to kind of create a little point at the end, which finishes it off nicely. And I would do that on both sides, you know. Simple to do. Okay, so let's start with the metal tool, and there's so many to choose from. You can just do any kind of texture that looks really cool, you know. Here's one. This is kind of like a basket weave kind of thing. So we can do a little of that. You can change them up. That would look really cool. This texture is really cool. I like that. So it's just fun to play with the texture on these and really get a different look. And I'll show you which one I used on that other pink one over there. And so you would just continue to go down. You can mix it up. You can do whatever you want. You could come back and add on top of this if you wanted to add, you know, more of those circles. You could certainly do that. And you would just do that all the way down. Like if I wanted to add, okay, now maybe I want to add a second layer of texture. I could come back with this and every other maybe, you know. And it just adds more texture. So it's totally up to you what you want to do. So at this point, actually let me show you this one here. This might be a little hard to see. Let me put a little ink on it so you can see better. Let's see. What color should we go with? Let's see if this silver. And this is just pigment ink. Oh, this one looks old and crusty. I'll go with the chocolate, because it's nice and dark and you should be able to see. And so you would just go over it so that you can highlight the texture. And that brings out the texture nicely. And the one I used on this one was actually this scalloped one. Actually, no, it was a smaller scalloped one. This one. So I used this one and I just went all the way around. See that one? It's kind of like a half scallop. And I just really like the way the texture is on him now, and it gives it a whole new dimension. You know, you could certainly even add crystals to this, you know, like a Swarovski crystal or a glass crystal, and really decorate it up and make it really cute. This is also another fun thing if you're having a birthday party. The kids would absolutely go nuts for this. You know, if it's girls, you know, they love to do stuff for their hair. This is easy enough for anyone to do at pretty much almost any age. You know, you're not really dealing with a blade, so you know they might need a little supervision. But how cool is that? Really cute, you know. And then let's see how this one looks here with some ink on it as well. Let's see what color we want to do for that. I don't know if this pearlescent poppy. Let's try the Galaxy Gold and see how that looks. That looks pretty. And see, that just highlights the texture that you've applied. And really so easy to do, but so fun. I'll tell you what, something like this here with something hanging from it, I used to sell for $10. And the longer they were obviously the price went up based because on the fact that you're using, you know, more clay and more time, obviously. But I used to sell them like crazy. So, you know, if you need a little extra something to sell it at the markets or whatever, this is a fun and easy thing to do. And like I said, the kids absolutely go bonkers for these. And I was having parents spending $20 on some of them for the kids. And, you know, I would recommend using Primo brand clay for this because it's really flexible and, you know, it's less chance it's going to break. I would not use something like Sculpey or Sculpey 3 for this. I would definitely not use those. I would really just, that's the clay I would use, is Primo, because it is the most flexible after baking. And, you know, you don't want to make these and have them break. There's no point of that. So use that quality clay for something like that. But super, super cute. I mean, super easy and super cute and not much involved. So you can make a bunch of them in not a lot of time, you know, which is nice. Let me actually finish this one up so we can put a little ink on this. And I'm just going in between that basket weave, and it looks totally different from this one now, just by adding two pieces of texture on there. That took me all of 3 seconds to do. So there we go, and let's add a little, let's just do the gold on this one as well so you can see. It looks so pretty too. And you know, you can make them in all kinds of colors, and the kids would love, you know, making them in their color choices. And now you also have the powder pigments we talked about, where you can add that as well. Although I'll tell you what, if it's younger kids, I would not do powder pigments because it goes everywhere, and you don't want to be inhaling this stuff. So you need to do it with, if it's an older, you know, someone that's older, it would be better. But you know, you can certainly do these for yours, or if you're giving them for gifts, or if you're gonna, you know, take them to market. So when you're using the powder pigments, though, you might want to seal it because they don't come off a lot. But since it's something that's going to get wear and tear and going to be on someone's hair, you could just run some Future floor wax around it. And ooh, see, this is, the clay's breaking. It's so cold in here. Run some Future floor wax over it once you've baked it. Just take a brush and go around it with Future floor wax, and you can even stick it back in the oven, and that'll even help to make it stronger. Not necessary. Definitely don't have to do it on the ink. The ink will be permanent once you heat it. You know, so once you bake it, it'll be permanent. It's just powder pigments. You may want to add a little something to coat it. So, you know, if somebody happens to get it wet. Even so, though, I have to be honest with you. I don't have a lot of problems with powder pigments coming off once it's baked. But if you feel you need to add that extra, you know, bit of security, feel free to add some floor wax to it, or, you know, some kind of sealant. And that's really it to this project. Super easy. You can use any kind of texture you want. I just use these metal stamps because I like the look of it, and I like the look of the little, you know, the little aluminum round pieces as well. So have fun with it. I will put I'll actually take a picture of this in my hair so you can see it, and I'll add that at the end of the video here. So thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy making your hair twists, and think about having some parties, you know, with the kids or the grandkids, because I know they will love making these as well. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you come join us over at polymerclayadventure.com for the Polymer Clay Adventure. It's going on year long, and we have some amazing teachers and amazing classes, and it's all inclusive, so you get it all for one low price, and it's a lot of fun. So thanks for joining us, and you can get these in our shop at polymerclaytv.com. There's a link to the shop there. See you next time.